Good morning, Year 7s. I hope you're all doing well. Today's topic is going to be the perimeter of shapes. The lesson objective is to be able to work out perimeter of shapes using a centimeter grid or using calculations. For the start of this morning, I would like you to pause your video here, do the questions spending no more than 10 minutes, then resume the video to check your answers. Here are your answers. Pause the video again, mark your work, then resume the video to move to the next slide. We are going to now look at the definition for the perimeter of a shape. The perimeter of a shape is found by calculating the sum of all the lengths or sides of a closed plane figure or a closed shape. Our first task is to calculate the perimeter of shapes using a centimeter grid. Now, what do I mean by centimeter grid? A centimeter grid is one where we have small squares that make the grid, where the length of each side on the square measure 1 centimeter. So, if we look at this square that I'm shading in, each length on the square going down, that's 1 centimeter, coming across 1 centimeter, going up 1 centimeter, across again 1 centimeter. Now, our job is to work out the perimeter of these 5 shapes that are on the grid. Starting with the green shape, since we're finding the perimeter, all we need are the lengths that are around this shape. So, here we have 1 centimeter and we keep counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And so, the perimeter of the shape that is green is 14 centimeters. Now, let us look at the perimeter for the orange shape. So again, we are going around the shape, finding all the lengths that we are going to count. So starting on top for me, 1, that's 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, the perimeter of the orange shape is 20 centimeters. Now pause this video and work out the perimeter of the other 3 shapes. Spend 2 minutes doing this, then resume the video to check your answers. The perimeter for the red shape is 16 centimeters. The perimeter for the pink shape is 18 centimeters. And the perimeter of the purple shape, which is a square, is 12 centimeters. Our next task is to use a centimeter grid to draw a shape that has a perimeter of 12 centimeters. Here is an example. Now, to check if it is correct, all I have to do is go around the length of the sides, counting 1 centimeter at a time as I go along to see if I get a total of 12. So here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my rectangle that I've drawn measures 12 centimeters. Now pause the video, try to draw as many shapes as possible which will have a perimeter of 12 centimeters. Then resume the video to check some of the other possibilities. Here's another possibility, another, and another. And if you check around the sides, they should all give a perimeter of 12 centimeters. If you do have any different shapes than the ones shown here, just check around the lengths to see if you get a total of 12 centimeters. For this independent task, I would like you to use the link below to complete the task. Once the link is opened, do page 1 and only questions 1, 2, 6, and 7 from page 2. If you go to show my homework, you should be able to open the link from there. I will also include the description for what you should be doing. Spend 20 minutes on the task, then scroll to the bottom of the worksheet. You'll see a picture as shown below, answers and with the green tick and the red cross. Click on the green tick. The answer should come up and you can mark your work. So pause this video now, do the task, spend in 20 minutes, then mark that. Come back to this video to complete the rest of the lesson. For this example, we are going to look at finding the perimeter of a shape by measuring. If we are going to use this method, we will need a ruler to measure the sides or the lengths of the sides of the shape. Here we have a rectangle, and so we will have to measure the 4 sides, add them up to get the perimeter. For the rectangle that is laying horizontally, the length of the side of the rectangle along that ruler is 10 centimeters. It therefore means that the opposite side will also measure 10 centimeters. The ruler, which is standing vertically, we will measure the side of the rectangle that is along that ruler, and we have a measure of 2 centimeters. It therefore means that the opposite side will also measure 2 centimeters. And so, now that we have the lengths of the 4 sides, we can calculate the perimeter by adding those measurements and we have that to be equal to 24 centimeters. For this slide, we are looking at calculating perimeter of shapes where the lengths of the sides are given. And so for this triangle, which has 3 sides, the 3 measurements are written on. And so we add those 3 sides together. 4 plus 4 plus 5. That gives us a total of 13 centimeters. So the perimeter of that triangle is 13 centimeters. In the next example, we have a pentagon. Now this pentagon, we can see all the sides measure 2 centimeters. And so all we would have to do is add all the lengths that are marked on. And that gives us a total of 10 centimeters. If we take a look at the note on the right, that is being circled now, this pentagon is a regular shape, and a regular shape is one where all the sides measure the same length. Please bear this in mind as we go through other examples later on the PowerPoint. In this example, we are going to work out the perimeter of the rectangle. We know that the opposite sides of a perimeter are equal. So this side will be 5 centimeters and this side will be 7 centimeters. Once we identify the lengths of all the sides, all we need to do is add them together to get the perimeter. So the perimeter of this rectangle is 24 centimeters. Here's another example where we are going to calculate the perimeter of the rectangle. If you notice, the units of the rectangle are different. And so our job is to make sure that we convert the units to be the same, then do our calculation. The first method I'm going to use is converting the units to millimeters only. And so this 9 centimeters will have to be converted to millimeters, and that is equal to 90 millimeters because 10 millimeters make 1 centimeter. Again, the opposite sides of a rectangle are equal, so it means this length is 6 millimeters and this length is 90 millimeters. Now that we have the lengths, we can calculate the perimeter. So we add them together and get a total of 192 millimeters. For the second method, we are going to convert the measurements to centimeters. And so the 6 millimeter has to be converted to centimeters, and that is equal to 0.6 centimeters. Now that we have converted this, we can identify the lengths of the opposite sides, then add them together. So this side is 0.6 centimeters and this side is 9 centimeters. All we need to do now is add the lengths together to get the perimeter, and so that would give us 19.2 centimeters. Let's look at this word problem. It says we should find the perimeter of a rectangle with length 10.5 meters and width 350 centimeters, and we need to give our answer in meters. So what I do first is I would just sketch a rectangle, as you can see, and then since it says that I need to give my answer in meters, I will make sure that the length I put on my shape is converted to meters. The 10.5 meters was given, but then in the question I had 350 centimeters. Now, converting that, I get 3.5 meters because I need 100 centimeters in order to have 1 meter. So I can only get 3.5 meters from 350 centimeters. Now that I have my units in meters, all I need to do is identify the length of the opposite sides, then add them together to get the perimeter. And so my answer would be 28 meters. Here's another word problem. It says we should find the cost of fencing a rectangular park of length 175 meters and breadth 125 meters at the rate of £12 per meter. Breadth is the same as width, so that should help us. I have drawn a rectangle and I have marked on the length on there, so I have 175 meters for the length and 125 meters for the width or for the breadth, and we need to work out what it will cost us to fence this rectangular park. So the first thing we would need to do is to find the perimeter of the park, adding all the sides together, and I get a total of 600 meters. Now it says that the rate of doing this fencing will be £12 per meter, which means £12 for 1 meter. We have 600 meters. So to find the cost, all we need to do is multiply the 600 meters by £12 and we would get a cost of £7,200. Here we have a hexagon, and it's a regular hexagon. And previously we looked at an example of a regular shape. Now a regular shape is one where all the lengths of the sides are the same. And sometimes it can be indicated that the sides are the same length when we have marks on the sides. So because it's a regular shape and all the sides are equal, we would have 6 lines on each side indicating to us that the lengths are the same. And so we have 6 sides which measure 7 centimeters. Therefore, when we add those up, we get a total of 42 centimeters for the perimeter. Here we have a triangle where all 3 sides have been marked, indicating to us that all 3 sides are the same length, which means that the triangle is a regular shape. Now, what's the name given to a triangle where all 3 lengths are the same? It's an equilateral triangle. And so, since it's an equilateral triangle, all 3 sides having the same length, when we calculate the perimeter, it will give us a total of 24 centimeters. Now here we have another triangle. It's not a regular shape. However, there are 2 dashes or 2 lines marked on 2 of the sides, which indicate to us that those 2 lengths are the same. And the third length is also given. So the lines that are marked both measure 22 centimeters and the third side measure 14 centimeters, So for the perimeter, when we add them together, it gives us a total of 58 centimeters. Let's work out the perimeter of this compound shape. Now, compound shape is a shape that can be cut up into other simpler shapes. So looking at this L shape or compound shape, it can be cut up into two rectangles. For the purpose of the perimeter, we only need to look at the length around the compound shape. And so we have two lengths that are missing, and the first one is 8 centimeters. Now, to double check if we are correct, the total height here is 11 centimeters, and opposite to that, the height is 3 centimeters. So this length, therefore, needs to be 8 centimeters in order to have the total height of 11. The second missing length is indicated by the arrow where it says 4 centimeters. Again, the horizontal length is 10 centimeters, a bit too far. Let's try that again. Keeps going. The horizontal length is 10 centimeters, and opposite to that we have 6 centimeters. So to get the total to be 10 going across, we need an additional 4 here. Therefore, this missing length is 4 centimeters. Now that we have identified the missing lengths and we want the perimeter, we add all the lengths around the shape, and that would give us 42 centimeters. Now, pause your video and attempt this question. Spend 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes, working out the solution for the perimeter of this T-shape, compound shape. Then resume the video to double check your answer. We have a few missing lengths. The first one indicated is this 6 centimeters. It is opposite to this length, which is also 6 centimeters. We also have this missing length to work out. Now the total length on the bottom is 9 centimeters. Then we have opposite to that 4, and opposite as well 3. Now that 4 and 3 give you a total of 7. We need a total of 9 opposite this horizontal length at the bottom. So since those two give a total of 7, then the missing length is 2, as indicated on the arrow. Our next length that's missing is this length. Now, opposite to that, we have 7 centimeters, and so that missing length would be 7 centimeters, as they have the same height. Now, once all our lengths have been identified, then to find the perimeter, we add all those lengths to get our answer. And so our perimeter for the T-shape is 44 centimeters. Look at this word problem. It says the perimeter of the square below is 20 meters. What is the length of its sides? Now we know that for a square, all the lengths of the sides are equal, and so the four lengths should be equal. Therefore, we would divide the perimeter into 4, and that will give us 5 meters. So the length of each side would be 5 meters. If you should add them together, or perimeter, as stated in the question, will be 5 meters. Now for a final set of examples. The first question, we are going to attempt to work out the length marked or indicated by the letter X. Now it says to us that the perimeter of that rectangle is 26 centimeters. Now we know that the opposite sides of a rectangle are equal, so we will start with what we do know. This opposite side is 8 centimeters, so we add them together to get 16. It says that the perimeter of the shape is 26 centimeters, and so we can take away the 16 that we calculated initially from 26, and that would give us a total of 10. Now this 10 will have to be shared for these two sides. And since on a rectangle the opposite sides have the same length, then we will have to divide 10 by 2 to get 5 centimeters. So the length marked X is 5 centimeters. If we should add these, we should end up with the perimeter that was given initially. So 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 5, 21, plus 5 more gives us 26. So the length marked X is definitely 5 centimeters. Let us look at the second example where we have the triangle. We have two lines marked which indicate to us that lengths are the same, and so we can mark on 9 centimeters there. Our task again is to find the length marked X. They told us that the perimeter of the triangle is 25 centimeters. And so what we can do, remember the dashes indicate that the sides are the same length, which we have marked already. So to answer the question, the two sides that are the same length, we add them together, 9 plus 9, 18. Then the third length is the one that we need to work out, and so we subtract 18 from the perimeter, which is 25, and we get 7. So the length marked X is 7. Just to check, we would add all three sides and see if we get a total of 25. So 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 7 is definitely 25. So X would be 7 centimeters. And our last example on this slide is again to work out X, where the perimeter of the parallelogram is 45 centimeters. The dashes indicate that the lengths of the sides are the same. And so the opposite side to 9 centimeters is 9 centimeters. We would add them together to get 18. Then we will subtract what we know, the 18 centimeters, from the 45 centimeters which was given for the perimeter, and we get a total of 27. Now, if we look at where x is marked, it is also equal to the opposite length as it is a parallelogram. And so to find x, we will have to share the 27 by dividing it by 2, and that will give us 13.5 centimeters. So x is equal to 13.5. Now, it would mean our opposite length is also 13.5. And if we should add those four sides together, we should get a total of 45 centimeters. Your final task for this lesson will be to use the link below to complete the task, of course. When the link is opened, choose bronze, silver, or gold. Now, the description for bronze, silver, or gold is written in Show My Homework, so please follow the instructions carefully. Spend 30 minutes on the task, then scroll to the bottom of the worksheet, click on the green tick to mark your answers. Once you have completed this PowerPoint, please take pictures of your work and attach them on Show My Homework for me to see how you have done, and please also indicate if there is any particular question that you would like to be explained at any point during the lesson. Enjoy the rest of your day, and please send me any messages you need to in order for me to support you while you are at home.